What's up? What it do? It's Uptown Eon. It's DC Blacks. Check this out. Let's jump straight into it. I've been covering this Trump takeover of Washington D.C. for days. I'm right here. I can't help but to see it. But I want to point out a couple things. Pam Bondi, the United States Attorney General, issued these orders, and she has been saying for the Trump administration that they are in control of the D.C. police force. Based on home rule, I'm not going to talk out of depth about that. But the D.C. Attorney General is now fighting back and has sent this letter to the Chief of Police for the District of Columbia. So before I read this right here, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what this is about. The Attorney General for D.C., which is the lawyer for the District of Columbia, is now saying that Pam Bondi and the Trump administration legally cannot take over the D.C. Police Department. You can listen to the facts as I read it. But now they are technically fighting for control of the police department, for the executive rights of the office of the mayor, as well as for what we call home rule here in the District of Columbia. But nevertheless, the same aspect that anyone has been following political news about Gavin Newsom and California fighting against the Trump administration for their states' rights. Well, now the District of Columbia is fighting against the Trump administration for its city rights, its autonomy to home rule, to govern itself like a state, like another place that has its own rules and own states' rights. Technically, we don't have those rights. In the Constitution, it says that Congress shall have a sole authority over the District of Columbia. And Trump, through the office of the president, is exercising some of those rights. So, Government of the District of Columbia, Office of the Attorney General, Brian Schwalb, Attorney General, August 14th, 2025. Opinion of the Attorney General regarding legal effect of U.S. Attorney General Order 6370-2025, restoring safety and security to the District of Columbia. This letter is addressed from the lawyer of the District of Columbia to the Chief of Police of the Metropolitan Police for the District of Columbia. To Pamela A. Smith, Chief of Police, Metropolitan Police Department, Executive Office of the Chief of Police. Dear Chief Smith, I have reviewed order number 6370-2025, Bondi Order, restoring safety and security to the District of Columbia, issued late this evening by the United States Attorney General Pamela Bondi. The Bondi Order purports to vest all powers and duties of the Chief of Police and Drug Enforcement Administrator Terry Cole as the Emergency Police Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police Department, MPD. It also purports to rescind MPD Executive Orders EO 25005, as well as suspend provisions of General Orders GO PER 20126 and GO PCA 70201, and further directs MPD to enforce district laws and regulations pertaining to unlawful occupancy of public spaces and to rescind any MPD directives that conflicts with any provision of the Bondi Order. What they're doing when they say they want to rescind any orders pertaining to the unlawful occupancy of public spaces, that is one of the things that Trump is doing to eradicate or get rid of, kick out, move the homeless people from the places that he does not want them. Back to the letter. It is my opinion that the Bondi Order is unlawful and that you are not legally obligated to follow it. What does that mean? The Attorney General for the District of Columbia, which is the lawyer for D.C., is legally advising the Chief of Police that she does not have to follow these orders. Attorney General Schwalb says it is his opinion that the Bondi Order is unlawful and that you are not legally obligated to follow it. That's what he's saying to the Chief of Police. Section 740 of the Home Rule Act provides the president with the authority to direct the mayor to provide services of the Metropolitan Police Department in order to address the special circumstances of an emergency nature and for federal purposes. It does not authorize the president or his delegee to remove or replace the chief of police, to alter the chain of command within MPD, to demand services directly from you, MPD, or anyone other than the mayor, to rescind or suspend MPD orders or directives, or to set the general enforcement priorities of MPD or otherwise determine how the district pursues purely local law enforcement. The bonding order is therefore ultra vires. That is a Latin term that means without order, out of bounds, above the capacity. It means that she does not have the power or authority to do that. That's a Latin term of law. And he's advising the police chief that Pam Bondi cannot take control of what her job is based on DC law. In addition, the Home Rule Act vests the executive power of the district and the mayor, CDC Code 120422. Pursuant to this power, the mayor appoints the head of various district agencies, including MPD. The mayor also has the authority under the Home Rule Act through the heads of administrative agencies, including the MPD, to supervise and direct the activities of such agencies. So according to law, even when Pam Bondi says she's taking control of the police department, MPD, and that she's placing the head of the DEA, Terry Cole, in control of this as an emergency police commissioner, DC law, which was written into law by Nixon with this Home Rule Act, gives the mayor, Muriel Bowser, the power to supervise and direct the activities of such agencies per DC code. That means this is where you find it at in DC law, code section 1-204.224. Under district law, it is the duty of the police force to respect and obey the chief of police as the head and chief of police forces. Subjects and rules, regulations, and general orders of the Council of the District of Columbia and the Mayor of the District of Columbia, DC Code 5127.03, having been duly appointed by the Mayor and confirmed by the Council, you are lawfully appointed Chief of Police of the District of Columbia. He's addressing he's addressing Police Chief Pamela Smith. Therefore, members of MPD must continue to follow your orders and not the orders of any official not appointed by the mayor, Muriel Bowser. Regardless of the Bondi order, no official other than you may exercise all the powers and duties of the chief of police or issue any executive orders, general orders other than written directives that apply to members of MPD. Sincerely, Brian L. Schwalb, Attorney General for the District of Columbia. Now, with that being said, for DC residents and for people abroad, nationally, internationally, a battle is now starting between the local government, which is the government of the District of Columbia, and the federal government, the Trump administration by way of Pam Bondi and her appointed emergency police chief commissioner, which is also the head of the DEA in the District of Columbia. So now technically, the Attorney General for the District of Columbia is saying that this federal takeover of the police force is out of bounds and it's illegal. I said that a little while before. Now you're going to see the difference between federal law, local law, and what's applied. Leave a comment. Let me know if you want me to go deep into this. Free the men, free the real, DC or not.
Jess Arnold is live at MPD headquarters with more on this big development and the mayor's sharp response. Jess, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, well, it's unclear how all of this will play out as of this morning. As you mentioned, Attorney General Pam Bondi issuing that order that gives the powers and duties of the DC Police Chief to DEA Chief Terry Cole. But Mayor Bowser posted just before midnight last night on X that that's not legal. In that post, she shared this letter that was written by DC Attorney General Brian Schwalb that we're going to be pulling up here for you now, who said he reviewed Bondi's order and said, in his opinion, it's unlawful and Chief Smith is not legally obligated to follow it. He goes on to say that the Home Rule Act allows the president to direct the mayor to provide DC police services for federal purposes, but doesn't authorize him to remove the chief of police or set general local enforcement priorities. In summary, that means that DC police should still follow Chief Pamela Smith's orders, according to AG Schwalb. So, again, it's hard to say this morning exactly whose orders they'll be following. Our team did speak with a district police commander earlier in the week who at that time had said he still answers to DC Police Chief Pamela Smith. It's unclear if and how this order might change that.